And welcome in to PressBox Live. I'm Stan the Fan of PressBox and PressBoxOnline.com. Gary Stein is with me. As always, Gary, how are you?
Hello, Stanley. Doing great. How about yourself?
I'm very good, very good. And I'm excited to interview and discuss an exciting topic with Kevin Rochlitz, who's the Chief Sales Officer for the Baltimore Ravens. But first, and if anybody knows this, it's Kevin Rochlitz. I've got to pay a little bills with some housekeeping and tell you about C3 American Exteriors. PressBox Live is brought to you by C3 American Exteriors. Go to their website at c3america.com to find out how you can get a new roof, a brand new roof, for just the cost of your insurance deductible. And as I like to say every Monday and Wednesday when we do these Zooms, if you own a home, there's no more expensive thing that you'll have to do than fix or replace your roof. You need to know the people you're dealing with, like them, and trust them. I can say that about all three things I just said for C3 American Exteriors. I know the people, I trust them, and I like them, and you will too. C3 American Exteriors. And now, joining me and joining us is Kevin Rochlitz, who is in his 19th season with the Baltimore Ravens. And Kevin, boy, you were so much younger when you started.
I was. I didn't have as much gray too. So that's the way it goes.
All of us. And Gary Stein 19 years ago actually had a couple threads of hair up there.
Absolutely.
Kevin, I can't believe you're actually a 19-year veteran. Wow.
19 years. It's amazing ride. Amazing ride. And a Super Bowl, so that's good.
Who hired you? Did Mannion hire you?
He did. He hired me back then. So
he made one great decision.
I appreciate that.
All right. Hey, we're excited to talk to you about this, and I'm sure you're excited to talk about the topic of legalized sports betting coming to the state of Maryland. And I'm going to start off with like an oddball question, but it struck me as odd that you're the interface this industry. It's sales from the ball club's perspective. This is a sales opportunity. Would you describe it as such, or describe it as a sales opportunity with much, much more in it?
Yeah, I think, it is a sales opportunity, but it's really a marketing vehicle for us to connect with our fan base here locally, but also around the country and around the world in some instances. So the way we looked at this was a great opportunity for us to connect with some new brands. There's many people that are going to be entering the state of Maryland and participating in this space. As you know, with the legislature and the recent vote, there's many more people are going to be participating. So it was important for us to go through this process and figure out how we were going to tackle this. And we didn't, just do this like weeks ago. We've actually been working on this for over a year, what we could do until obviously the Maryland legislature could approve it.
It's interesting. I want to take you back to the old days of sports when leagues and teams guarded their property and the games themselves like they were sacrosanct, and if anything crept that was illicit, they would stop it in a second. What makes it okay today that those barriers are kind of all down or shut down to an extent?
I'm not so sure they're going to be shut down to an extent, though, Stan. I think there's, the integrity of the game is one of the most important things to Commissioner Goodell. I think you're going to see that as we proceed through the NFL, the restrictions on staff. As you know, we can't go to a casino on business and gamble, and we can't go in a sports book. All those things are going to stay in place. I think what you will see is the integrity is going to be upheld amongst the teams in the league, and they're really going to be looking at the rules as we go through this process. So I think it's also the other leagues have changed a little bit. And we were one of the late adapters in the NFL to get to this point. And as you know, many states are turning into this as the Supreme Court voted this in process. So it's been a slow moving ship getting this to this point, but it's continuing as we go forward.
Gary will take over in a minute. Gary, I just got a quick follow-up to that, Kevin. Do you think in some ways the league will claim, hey, we're going to be even more transparent now because we'll follow algorithms of wagers and all of this. So there'll be more integrity, not less.
Yeah, potentially. I see that happening. They're very cautious about how we go through this process. And the league also is going to have partnerships at the league level. So you can understand that it's not just going to be a Baltimore thing or another team. The league is going to be very, they're going to be very protective of the shield, as they are in most cases, as you well know.
Kevin, I've got a lot of questions on this, gambling thing also, but before I get there, at least, I want to just take a step back. Something interesting that's going to be happening in a couple of weeks for the first preseason game against the Saints is that fans are actually going to be coming to the game. And that is a lot different from what it was last year.
Right.
And so just take me back for last year, just in general. You're responsible for corporate partnerships and sponsorships and, making sure that fans connect with sponsors. Last year, that was extremely difficult to do. So tell me a little bit about how that was for you last year as we move into the new year.
Well, it was very difficult. I mean, we had to go through and redo every contract that we had with every partner. And we started out, literally just going down the line and editing everybody's agreements and modifying them, which was not an easy thing, but everybody understood we were in something that no one could control, and we were there. Well, now that we're coming out of it, now we're really at a point now where I really want to make sure our staff is prepared, because August 14th, typically we'd have a preseason game, and maybe you might have 40, 50,000 people in attendance. What I'm feeling, and if you've flown lately, you've realized the aircrafts are filling up. The airports are very busy, and they don't have the staffing. They're not prepared. I think what we as an organization have to do is make sure that we're really prepared, because people haven't been inside M&T Bank Stadium in so long. They want to be out there and watch the players. So we're going to have to be really ready to have M&T Bank Stadium ready for the preseason. For surely, definitely ready for the opener against the Chiefs in September.
So along those lines, Kevin, do you have in general, an orientation or a practice run even before the game? And if so, how do you even do that?
Well, we're doing one this Saturday with our practice at the stadium.
Sure.
So that'll be one of them. But there's nothing more than getting more people in the building. So on the 14th, we'll do a little bit more, and we're cleaning. That upper deck hasn't been used in such a long time that we're going through the cleaning up there. There's just so much to get done, but we'll get there. But it is a very different scenario from what we've had in previous years. We're an organization that's used to shutting down at the end of the year and then building back up.
Yeah.
Airlines are not built to shut down and then start back up again. And so that's why it's been a little bit more difficult. But we need to be there for our fans. I think their fans in this marketplace are ready to go back out and scream and yell and cheer. And so we need to be ready for the fan base when they come back here in the next few weeks.
Yeah. Stan, let me slip one more in here.
Yeah,
with
go
Kevin.
ahead. Get one more.
This is more about the current situation with your sponsorships and gambling. Your deal is with BetMGM. I found it interesting as I was going through a couple of articles about this partnership that you guys announced. I think it was in June, if I'm not mistaken. Even though Maryland has legalized gambling, they still haven't come, and unless I'm wrong, correct me, I don't think they've still come up with the guardrails or the structure that it's all going to be. And at the same time, again, if I'm not mistaken, the NFL as a league right now still doesn't allow on-site, in-stadium gambling. So I guess my question is, what can fans actually expect early on in the season with this new law coming into play?
Yeah, well, first of all, there's a couple of things. We did announce the BetMGM deal, and that is number one of our three partners we're going to have. We've completed 3 deals. The next one should be announced in the next probably 2 weeks, and the last one will be announced September 1st. So we made a decision weeks ago, or actually 6-8 months ago, that we're going to have 3 partners in this space. So we've completed those deals. And we'll announce the other 2 soon. So with those 3 deals, you're absolutely correct. The NFL does not allow you at this point to gamble at M&T Bank Stadium. We will be prepared for that when that time comes and how we will handle that. But if you look towards the future, I'm sure that will come when everyone feels safe. But right now, realistically, what the process is the governor selected a commission, and that group is putting the guardrails up for amongst of how you're going to be handling the sports gaming in Maryland. And the number one priority of that will be, as they go through this process, to develop the mobile version for sports gaming, which will not be available for the 2021 season. It probably will be available for 22, but the Maryland Lottery Commission will be controlling those licenses. And I believe the latest was that there were 60 licenses based on what the group decided in Annapolis that they will have. So those will start be distributing probably in 22. For right now, for 21, when they get the rules set up, you will be able to go into the casinos in the state of Maryland and gamble for this football season. Now, whether that's September 1st, October 1st, October 15th, whatever, it's going to happen at some point. It's just a matter of the Lottery Commission and those folks working on those rules. But everything we feel and we hear, we anticipate that's going to happen this football season.
But as you understand it, Kevin, as of the moment, the first step will be that you can go into bricks and mortar casino to bet on football games, correct? And then the tablet or whether you could bet at the stadium will be determined later on, correct?
I don't foresee the stadium coming in the near future. Okay. The mobile is going to be the next big thing, and that probably will be in 22.
That's right.
And I know there's many companies that would like to get in the mobile situation there. That's why we've spent the off season working on a significant upgrade to our Wi-Fi system at M&T Bank Stadium. So that will probably be all installed before the opener on the 19th of September that we have. In fact, some of the lower bowl seats have antennas in the base of the seats. So we needed an upgrade. Oh. And so it's a big deal for us. As you know, when you go to games and events at M&T, people get on their mobile device and they're checking Facebook and ESPN and everything else that they do. And if you can't get Wi-Fi, you know how upset you get now when you go to somewhere and they have no Wi-Fi. So we spent a considerable amount of money upgrading our system there. They're working on it right now. They're putting in new antennas, those type of things. So it'll be a robust system that will be available to prepare for sports gaming as we know it, probably moving into 22 and 23.
Kevin Rochlitz is our guest. He's the chief sales officer for the Baltimore Ravens. He's been with the team for 19 years. Kevin, knowing you as such a good salesman, I know you know what you want out of a deal and what the other side wants out of the deal. So you're looking for this to help the experience with fans through the ball club and the fans. What does BetMGM feel like is paramount to them to get out of this deal?
Well, number one, the Ravens fan base was very important to them. Yeah. Getting the opportunity to connect with our fans, and that's the same with the other two partners as well. But you know, there's going to be so many opportunities when this thing launches that it's like gathering email addresses and addresses and names. They want to gather those, and they want to make sure they're taking care of you as a client, because once they get you in, just like any other loyalty club, you hopefully stick with them and stay with them and continue to do your business with them. So we've been able to work out some unique ways that we're going to connect with these three companies via sports gaming and do some unique things in stadium. But you'll hear about it. I mean, there'll be a lot of things that you'll hear about, but these three companies, we worked very hard to make sure that we looked at their background of a company, how they'll work with our partners, how they'll work with our fans, and those type of things, and make sure it's a win-win situation. But we went through a lot of inventory ideas and things that they want to own, those, you know, during the process of the negotiations. So we really feel like it's a win-win situation. They're really excited about it, and so are we.
As I understand it, Kevin, and this isn't the case with every team that BetMGM does a deal with, but are you an affiliate partner with BetMGM?
Not so much an affiliate partner. They're going to obviously do their business at their location. They're going to put up, you know, gaming operations at their facility at National Harbor. The way the NFL rules are unique is that they're not able to use our marks and logos at the location because of our geography, but digitally and mobily and online, they can use those type of things, and through broadcast and print and those things in our area, they can do that. So we'll work with them on those type of things, but we're going to be a strategic partner to them and help them grow just like the other two partners that we will have in this space.
Gary.
I think what you are going to realize and what you're seeing is that sports gaming is becoming a significant part of the sports landscape. If you look at New York and the teams that came online in Denver, Nashville, they're all raring to go, and it's going to be good also for television. You're going to be able to, our ratings, I think, will continue to get higher. And so it's going to give you the opportunity to go to M&T Bank Stadium with a friend and probably get on your mobile device and put $3 in and bet that the Ravens are going to stop the Steelers on 3 downs and 3 and out. So
I used to always argue that there was no good reason to watch a Detroit Lion Tampa Bay Bucks game like 10 years ago unless you had a wager on it.
yeah.
And now I think you'll see a spike in all the television ratings.
Yes.
Gary?
Yeah, no, I would totally agree. Although I love football and I'd watch that game anyway.
Right.
But,
kind of hard to, if you're the loyal football guy, you're going to be hard to watch the game and then get on your mobile device and do that. And so that's why it may not be for everybody, but there's going to be a lot of people with their friends that want to participate and do that on game days.
Kevin, just a little off the cuff question. How do you think this is going to affect fantasy football? Because until now, fantasy football was the way,
Yeah, I think it's going to help fantasy football. One of the companies that's our partner is in the fantasy football space, and they're heavily involved, and they think it's going to really energize the folks that want to come and participate in that. So I think it's a little bit of a feeder system, to be honest with you, is that people that were in fantasy football, they're going to transition into this space. It's just going to help. The amount of my friends that play fantasy football, they love it. I don't think it's going to take away from them at all. It's still the value of picking your players and from week to week and doing those type of things. And it's an opportunity for them to go to the bar once a week or once a month and meet with your friends. So
yeah,
you always get to do that. And then if you win the season, you get to be the one that has the clout for the year. So
right.
I don't think that's going to go away. I think it'll be a good opportunity to tie the two together with certain partners.
Can I piggyback in, Gary, real quick? I had meant to ask you this question because, again, I know you study hard at what you're doing. The companies like FanDuel and DraftKings who surfaced 5-6 years ago, and then all of a sudden they were on every television thing we watched. Did they have a long view of this in mind, or is it kind of an odd coincidence that they've ended up being two of the sports books in all this? FanDuel,
I don't know, but they definitely have a leg up because they have all
they've
that
got the names. Yeah.
So they are obviously two very well-run companies.
Yeah.
They have great information. They know who their consumers are. So they're definitely gonna be involved. But I think there's some other folks out there that you got to remember, these big casinos and the big operations, they have significant databases built up of people that have been at their property. So I think overall, everybody's got names and addresses. It's a matter of how you connect with them.
Yep.
And I think that's what we're going to work towards, is how do we connect them with Ravens things that we're doing and build up that unique opportunity that you can do certain Ravens things.
Yeah. Kevin, the old adage is with rights come responsibilities. And while companies and the Ravens now have the right to promote gambling and people have the right to gamble, there's also the responsibility factor. Nobody wants to see anybody lose all their money. Nobody wants to see anybody, bet the rent, right? So my question is, what kind of mechanism, or is there a mechanism for, education, or, if somebody needs some help, if they're in a very bad situation, where can people turn? And is that a part of this at all?
Yeah, it is actually, Gary. One of the things that was important to me is that the league makes you do some signage and those type of things for responsible gaming. But the American Gaming Association in Washington, D.C., I met with them a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to run LED and put up a 1-800 number inside our stadium and radio. and basically do that for people that potentially might get themselves in a little bit of trouble, that they can call a number. I wanted to take an approach to make sure that we get out of this right away and put that number up and just provide that education if people do get themselves in a situation they don't have. So there is going to be a lot of those opportunities in print and things that we document. There will be a number that we'll put in there for help, but that's very important to the Ravens organization, that we make sure we provide opportunities in case people get in there, because it's going to happen. It just does happen from time to time.
Kevin, another quick question. It's now becoming commonplace on the national TV broadcasts, Fox, ESPN, et cetera, the networks, for the announcers to slip in some betting information, whether it be lines or, whatever it is, et cetera. I'm just wondering, from a team perspective, the Ravens in particular here, are you encouraging your media to do that as well? Are you allowed to do that? Have you thought about that?
The only things I think what you're going to see us do is if there are numbers that we get and we post them either on a television show or something like that, we'll do that. I don't think you're going to ever see our talent get involved and give out information here or there. I just don't think that's our place. That's a place where other people can provide. But we will provide some content and those type of things from time to time as we go through this process. But I don't think we want to be the ones giving out all that detail. I don't think that's the source for the Ravens to do that. At the end of the day, we're a fan-based organization. We want to make sure we provide great fun for people to go to games. But there will be times and places where you're going to know that our partners are heavily involved. One of our partners is going to sponsor our pregame set and those type of things. So there's going to be some integration. I just don't think you're going to get to a point where it's going to be like we're telling you how to gamble or how to go from one thing to another.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin, it's a weird coincidence that this year the Baltimore Ravens are going to be playing the first ever game in Las Vegas with fans at the stadium out there.
Yes.
I know You've been around this and you've been through at least the one Super Bowl. I can't remember if you were here for the first one.
Just the one.
Just the one. Okay. You'll be at another. I know that. You'll be part of another. But have you ever seen a tougher ticket to get than this first game? I mean, are people really bombarding you with, hey, I just need 2 out in Vegas on September 13th?
Yeah, I've kind of learned that when I get the phone call, it's like, hey, I got a favor. Is there any chance I can get 2? And when they get to Vegas, I'm like, it's not going to happen.
Not happening.
So
if Gary and I needed 2, it's not happening.
Yeah, it's not. You probably can get them, but they're charging a lot of money. I think we got hit with the double, which is it's the opening game of this year. It's a road game, but you got to remember also is that Allegiant didn't hold fans last year,
right?
And so this is the first time they've ever had fans. So it's the perfect storm. Monday night in Las Vegas, from what I understand, the hotels are all pretty much sold out. So not everybody's going to the game. So that just makes the price of the ticket go that much higher. That is a tough place to play. It will be a tough game. But you got to go to all these places and play. So you got to make it unique. I know it's going to be a challenge because for football, it's never easy to keep people and where we're going to host players and their, how families get there and have to not be with the players, and you can't go in the casinos. And, our staff, we've had to talk to them about, you can't gamble, you can't go into a sports book and the education. Every year the NFL makes us do an education session, but they've been doing that for years. Well, now all of a sudden you have to have the education session and realize you're going to Vegas. You're either going to go to a dinner, you're going to sit by the pool, or you're going to go to a show. That's all you're doing if you work for the Ravens staff while you go there on the trip.
Hey, Kevin, when I hear the term specialized entertainment experience, can you cut through the gobbledygook and tell me what does that really mean?
Well, there's going to be some of the experiences that we might have will be an opportunity to, go on the road with the team. It might be an opportunity to have an event at M&T Bank Stadium. Might be, get tickets in a suite at the stadium. Might be an opportunity for an autograph event with the player. These are all opportunities that potentially we're going to be doing with our partners as we go through this process and working with them.
So in the past, and the world of sports, you've had your home games and then the stadium shuts down for your road games. Could you see the possibility of opening the stadium to fans and people that want to bet on games? I'm not saying you'd get 60,000 people, but you might get 15,000 people that want to watch the game on the big screen and bet.
Well, that's probably going to happen in time. I mean, I know this year we are going to do a watch party for our Monday night opener.
Oh, great.
We're going to do our Miller Countdown to Kickoff concert there at M&T Bank Stadium. So the stadium will be open and people will come and watch the game on the big Ravens Vision boards. You obviously won't be able to get to, partake in gambling at M&T Bank Stadium, but there is potential that could happen in the near future where people want to go there. I think, a lot of teams are doing these lounges at their stadiums where you can go gamble in them.
Mhm.
That's potential where that might happen in the near future at M&T Bank Stadium, but we'll have to see. Again, I just don't see that's in the next few years until the NFL approves that, and that'll be an ownership decision at that point that they'll have to go through. But knowing that, there is places at M&T that we could do it, we're just going to have to wait and see. Again, the NFL does not move very fast on this stuff. So
No, I
they're going to
understand.
be very slow and make sure it's the right decision at the right time and make sure that we get this kicked off in the right way.
Larry, you have anything left for Kevin?
Yeah, just a couple of things. So Kevin, look, I know, you're not going to know the answer to this question because it's really unknowable at this point. But, when you guys start the season, whether it be New Orleans or Kansas City, especially on that Sunday night, hopefully there will be no restrictions on fans being able to come to the games, but we don't know what the future is of the Delta variant at this point. So my question is, just from your expectation purposes, do you expect a full crowd of 70,000 to show up to the game? Masks, no masks? I don't even know that. Or do you reasonably expect a lot of fans to say, you know what, just not yet. I love them, but I'm just not ready.
Well, I think we've heard from some of those folks that have called us and said, hey, I have season tickets. I'm just not ready to come back. I need a year. And we've dealt with those situations. But I think, we are like many others expecting a full stadium. What those rules will be, we may have to adjust. I mean, over the past few weeks, you're right, Gary, the Delta variant has changed. I think we're watching it. I think we're trying to make sure that we have hand sanitizer. We make sure that we have as much things that can make our fans safe while they're there. And we'll continue to do that. Safety is a number one priority for our organization. We will continue to do that. But I do believe that people are getting vaccinated. I do believe that people will continue to do that. Will there be some people that choose not to? Absolutely. But hopefully, other folks can connect with them and find ways that is great. I think wearing a mask, there probably will be people at M&T Bank Stadium that choose to come to the game and decide, hey, I'm just going to wear a mask for extra safety. And I think that's completely fine.
That'll be
But
me.
it is a priority for us. We're not going to put anybody in harm's way. We're going to make sure we do the right thing. And we talk about it every day. And so what's been happening? Sure, we are a little nervous about it, but we did make it through last year. As you know, we only had fans for the one game against the Steelers, which was not a lot of people. So I think everyone's ready to go back to whatever the new normal may be. And our best thing is to try and get fans back in the stadium.
Anything else, Gary?
No, I think I'm good, actually.
Kevin, I've just got one, and it's a little far afield. You've worked for Steve Bisciotti for 19 years. I find him to be one of the smartest owners I've been around in the world of sports. What is so special about him?
Well, there's a lot, but the one thing I'll tell you is he has a great leadership style. He lets our senior staff run things and do what we need to do. He provides the resources. I think you will all see that in the Under Armour Performance Center.
Yep.
And the updates that he has made to M&T Bank Stadium. And he provides a lot for this community. I mean, the HBCU scholarships that he just did and those type of things. It is very important to he and Renee about what they do in the city of Baltimore and the state of Maryland. And I think we continue to do that, but I don't think there's a better owner in the National Football League. In fact, there may not be a better owner in sports.
Yeah.
Steve is one of a kind. He makes sure his staff is taken care of. He makes sure that people feel great about coming to work at the Baltimore Ravens. And so, you know, there's a lot of things I think are special, but he lets everybody do their own job. And an owner, it's not like he's at the office every day. He doesn't need to be, but he's trusted all of us to get our job done and do what we need to do. But I'm very proud to work for him and work for the organization and what we do. But we also are a big pillar in this community. And that is, you know, we want to win football games, but we want to be strong in this community. And I think Steve has shown that in everything that he's done with the Ravens organization.
I appreciate your candor in answering that. It's a little bit of a softball question, but
Yeah.
sometimes somebody in your position can fumble it around. You did a great job with that. Speaking of longtime Raven employees, I heard there was a Kevin Burns sighting in town.
Was there
as
really?
recently as last night.
Wow.
I didn't see him, but I don't know if you have.
I didn't see him today either, but I know his
This
golf
was not
doing a lot
this was not at the Ravens facility, at a restaurant.
it was a
Somebody
restaurant.
somebody I know saw him.
I know I see him on a few Zooms here and there, but I know his golf game has gotten a lot better.
I'll bet it has.
So he's done that. Somehow he picked a good year to retire, didn't he?
He must have known something.
He must have known something.
It's either that or Chad Steele picked the wrong year to start.
That's exactly right.
So I don't know which one it is. So
Very good.
Hey, Kevin Rochlitz, the Chief Sales Officer of the Baltimore Ravens. We don't bother you often. We really appreciate you taking the time to discuss what I think we all agree is an exciting new chapter of Baltimore Ravens football and with the legalization of sports betting in the state. Thank you for your time.
It should be a very fun year. It should be a very fun year.
Thank you, Kevin. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, everybody's ready to get out and enjoy, and let's hope more people get vaccinated. We keep rolling, and we keep the Delta variant away from everybody.
Yep.
All right. Well, now I got to tell people about a sure bet. You don't have to hang around, Kevin, if you don't want to. But PressBox Live is brought to you each and every Monday and Wednesday night by our friends at C3 American Exteriors. Go to their website at c3america.com to get a brand new roof for just the cost of your insurance deductible. And again, we're talking about gambling and sure bets, long shots. I'll tell you that one sure bet in terms of being happy with who you're dealing with when you have a big expenditure like a roof repair or a roof replacement, C3 American Exteriors are the people to go through. Check out their website, c3america.com. Gary Stein, you'll be back with me next Wednesday night. Do we have a guest lined up yet?
We do, and it's a short bet. We've got Aaron Wilson. Everybody from Baltimore will know him, former Baltimore Sun writer with the Houston Chronicle as well, and he'll be our guest to talk all things NFL next week.
That'll be exciting. Next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. All right. We'll
Sounds
talk
good.
to you. I've got Boog Powell and I think Rick Dempsey on
Wow.
with us on Monday night Zoom with Ross Grimsley. That's coming up on this Monday, and that will be at 6 o'clock. Gary Stein, always a pleasure to see you and talk to you. I'll talk to
Real
you
quick,
soon.
was there
Yes.
a year where Stan, was there a year where all three of them were actually teammates?
No, I don't believe, actually, I believe Ross Grimsley, no, they weren't all three teammates. No. Boog
No.
was traded in 74 to the Dodgers. Dempsey
Gotcha.
didn't come
Okay.
to the Orioles till
76.
76.
Yeah.
And Ross was with the Orioles for like 74, 75, 76, and he went away, but then he did come back briefly. So he and Dempsey did play together.
Gotcha. Okay.
Good
Sounds good.
question, though. Good question.
Yep.
All right, Gary Stein, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks
We'll
for
see you then.
joining us, everybody. Again, we thank our sponsor, C3 American Exteriors.